For this demo, I want to show you how to make a very shallow slab dish. So the first thing that you're going to need to do is make sure that you have clay to create your slab. You're also going to need one of the pony rollers. You will need your needle tool and your fettling knife, as well as your metal rib that has the serrated teeth on it, some vinegar, and a paintbrush. The first thing that I've done is I have taken my clay and I've rolled out a slab that's about 1/4 of an inch thick, so about the thickness of my pinky. And I'm gonna go ahead and set that aside. And I'm gonna grab a mold. These molds can be the plaster molds that we have. They can be some of the ceramic molds that are down below. I will show you where those are. Or they can be any of the metal bowls that we have available to you as well. The one thing you want to make sure that you do for your mold is to drape plastic over the top of it. This way you can have an easier release of the slab that you're going to drape right over the top of it. So here I'm going to add some pressure and I'm going to drape that that clay right over the top of the mold. So now it's holding the form of what's underneath it. From here, I'm going to use my needle tool and I'm going to cut the rim. So the rim can be cut straight, it could be cut on some geometric shapes, it could be cut in an organic form. It's completely up to you. I think actually for this one, instead of cutting it, I'm going to use the pony roller. Maybe I'll use the rounded edge. And because a lot of my work is a little bit more organic, I'm just going to follow along with this and have a more organic, asymmetrical rim. And that way I use all the clay as well. After that, I'm going to trace a circle, and this is going to be where I am going to roll out a coil and add a foot to the piece so that it's raised up and stands on its own. So there's my circle. I'm going to use my serrated rib to score. So we know when we join two pieces of clay together now, we're going to need to score, add some vinegar, and seam those pieces together. So here's where I've scored. I'm going to take some new clay, knead that up, and I'm going to roll out a coil that should be long enough to create that foot. I'm going to press it down to make it a little bit more flat as opposed to rounded. Okay. So now at this point my slab is in the plastic state, and so is this coil that I'm going to attach as the foot. Actually, step back one. We're going to add some vinegar. That vinegar is an acid, and it's going to eat away at the clay so that it makes that bond quite a bit stronger. So I've added one paintbrush full of vinegar. And now I'm going to press just a centimeter at a time this foot right where I just scored and added that vinegar. There's going to be a spot where I'm going to need to join these two together. So I'm just going to use my fingernail, join those two pieces together. And now I should have something that looks like this. So we know that we need to seam these together now. So whether you decide to use your fingers to seam those together, or if you want to use one of the modeling tools or this two-sided rubber tool to seam all that together, not only are you seaming, but you're also cleaning up some of the score marks that you had made previously. So we will remove all of those. When you're finished seaming your piece together, you can turn it on its correct side, and I would tap it, back, I'd tap it a few times so that you can make sure that the bottom of your base is flat so that your piece will be even when it's on a tabletop. Since my clay is plastic, I'm going to leave it upside down on this mold until it gets to be about leather hard. Then I can remove it and it will maintain the shape.